In the quiet before dawn, the empty track shimmered with dew. A lone figure stretched in the half-light. Daniel Ward, a name once chanted by crowds, now whispered like a ghost. The world remembered his victories. No one saw his pain. He'd been the golden boy medals, interviews, the promise of greatness, until the day his knee shattered like glass. In one cruel instant, the stadium lights dimmed, and the world turned away. Sometimes the loudest cheers fade faster than the echo of a broken dream. Months passed. Rehab became a monotonous routine. The painkillers blurred the edges of his days, turning his vibrant life into a muted gray. Every trophy on his shelf felt like a lie, a monument to a life that was no longer his. His identity was so wrapped up in running that without it, he felt like he was disappearing. The emptiness was a constant, heavy presence, more painful than any physical injury. Then, one rainy evening, a small letter arrived. It was out of place amongst the bills and junk mail. The handwriting was shaky, almost childlike. He opened it, not expecting much. It read, "Dear Daniel, I watched you fall that day. My brother says you're finished, but I don't believe him. I think you'll run again for people like me who can't." That letter cracked something open inside him. Hope faint, fragile, but suddenly, undeniably alive. It was a single spark in the suffocating darkness. He began again, not for the medals, not for the fame that had abandoned him, but for the echo of that child's belief. That simple, pure faith became his new finish line. Each morning, he laced his shoes. The pain of fiery burn through his leg, the air cold and clean against his face. Every step was an act of rebellion against despair, a defiant shout into the void that had threatened to consume him. The track, once a stage for his glory, was now his sanctuary, the place where he would rebuild himself from the ground up, one agonizing step at a time. The comeback wasn't glamorous. It was a silent, solitary war waged in the pre-dawn light. Some days he could barely stand, the pain a vicious reminder of his limits. His leg would scream in protest, and doubt would whisper poison in his ear. But then there were other days, rare at first, where he'd catch a glimpse of the man he once was, and, more importantly, a flicker of who he might still become. He trained alone on that same old high school track where it all began, the worn rubber a testament to countless dreams, his included. Locals would pass on their morning walks and shake their heads with a mixture of pity and concern. "Let it go, Daniel," they'd say, their voices kind but dismissive. "The body has its limits." He knew they meant well, but his soul refused to listen. They said I was finished. Maybe they were right about the athlete. I was, but I'd rather die running than live standing still. This wasn't about being the fastest anymore. It was about refusing to be broken. One morning, he met Emma, the new physical therapist at the community center. She had calm, bright eyes, and an aura of relentless optimism that was both jarring and infectious. Unlike everyone else who saw a broken athlete, she saw the fighter beneath the surface. "You're not just rebuilding your leg," she told him during their first session, her voice firm but gentle. "You're rebuilding your faith in yourself." Her words stayed with him, echoing in his mind during every painful stretch and grueling exercise. The sessions grew longer, harder, sweat mixed with tears of frustration and breakthrough. With Emma's guidance, he wasn't just healing his body, he was mending his spirit. He started smiling again, not the practiced smile for the cameras, but the rare, genuine kind that comes from watching pain slowly turn into progress. The weight on his shoulders began to lift, replaced by a strength he hadn't felt in years. He was finding a new version of himself, one forged in the fires of adversity. 6 months later, Daniel entered a local charity run. There were no cameras, no sponsors, no roaring crowds chanting his name, just the faces of strangers, all there to run for something pure and simple. The starting gun fired, and he found a steady rhythm. For a while, it felt good. It felt right. But halfway through the race, it happened. His knee buckled. A sharp, searing pain shot through him, and he stumbled. Gasps rippled through the small crowd. He looked at the finish line, a blur of color and sound that seemed a million miles away. Every nerve in his body screamed at him to stop. But then, in the front row, he saw him. A little boy waving a worn, folded letter, the same handwriting, the same hope that had pulled him from the brink. That's when I understood. Sometimes victory isn't about finishing first. It's about refusing to quit. A new kind of energy surged through him. He pushed forward one step, then another. The pain became a rhythm. The rhythm became a feeling of freedom. He wasn't just running on a damaged knee anymore. He was running on pure heart. When he finally crossed the finish line, there was no roar of fame, just the soft, honest sound of human hearts rising with him. People weren't cheering for a champion. They were cheering for the fight in all of us. He collapsed into the arms of a volunteer, gasping for air, his body screaming, but his spirit soaring. In that moment, Daniel realized the hidden battle was never against his injury. It was against the voice inside that said, "You're done." And in that quiet, personal race, he had finally silenced it forever. Years later, his story began to spread again, but this time it was different. It wasn't about records or medals. It was a story shared in quiet conversations, in support groups, in letters from people who saw themselves in his fight. He became a symbol of what can happen when your faith outlasts your failure, a living testament to the power of the human spirit. We all face battles no one sees. We all have moments where the world feels dark and the path forward is unclear. But it's the hidden ones, the quiet, unseen wars of the heart that truly forge legends. So keep fighting. Your comeback story is waiting to be written. Because your pain, the one you're fighting through right now, one day becomes someone else's permission to believe. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the strength within us all. Until next time, keep fighting your fight.